If you're a heat and air machine technician or even a salesperson, what are some events that you should role play that have nothing to do with the money, and why does it matter? This is a super important question. I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business, and a perfect day to talk about you. Today in Sacramento's really nice. So in the world of sales, people love to role play objections, which is fantastic. And I really believe that that is a super important thing for you to do. But one of the other things that's super important for you to role play is the events that happen. And one of those is going to be where you meet with elderly people. And the reason why this becomes a concern is sometimes, occasionally, elderly people are taken advantage of, and they should not be, right? They shouldn't be. I'm going to say it. There are scumbags out there that take advantage of them, and it shouldn't happen that way. And the reason why you really want to role play some of these events when dealing with elderly people is things can go sideways really quick. And it may not be your fault. You may have had the best intentions in the world, but the minute that money gets involved with dealing with people, you deal with emotions. Money and emotions are tied together because you put in time, energy, effort, risk, and reputation to make that money. And the more effort that it took for you to make that money, the more ramifications that there are. Okay. So I will share an insider secret with you that when people start talking to you about their age, a lot of the times they're telling you, I don't have a ton of money. And so sometimes when they make a purchase, you may have to call a friend. You may have to call a family member. You may have to call a neighbor. I'm not you. I'm not saying exactly how you have to do this, but you should definitely take some time and plan for it. I worked for a company that if you met with somebody that was over 70 years old, somebody else had to sign off on the gig, even if it unwound the deal, because there was a couple of issues that were legal issues that the salespeople had every intention and were doing things right. And then kids got involved and neighbors got involved. And like everything is way more expensive than it used to be. And so everybody has this idea or belief that one product is $10,000 when it's really like 25 or 30 now. And some people have a belief that whatever used to be $3,000 is $10,000. And in their mind, they can always get it done for less. So I would say absolutely take some time to role play your situation for your industry and for your service. And this right here is why you should join my email publication. I will give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel. And so the way that you do this is you go to a boss, you go to a manager, and you say, hey, in the last couple of years, what have been some of the complaints about elderly people? And they may say, hey, somebody came in and said you overcharged my parents. Okay, that would be one thing you role play. Two, it's always going to come down to the money. And it's always going to come down to options. Oh, you sold them something with every bell and whistle, right? So you would want to role play that, like, hey, look, I showed them options 1, 2, and 3. I gave them the lowest end option possible, but they chose them with all the bells and whistles. And oh, by the way, I got initials right here that prove that I've had this conversation with them. Now, I will tell you that whenever there's somebody who's upset and whenever there's somebody who's angry, most people try to squish time when you should try to expand it. Right? You should take the time with the person. So when you role play this isn't about getting done fast. It's about getting done right. It's about taking your time. It's about having the conversations. It's about asking the right questions. And the more that you try to speed this up, the more that you try to compress time, the more that you try to make things super efficient, the bigger it's going to work against you. It's going to have a mirror effect. It's going to expand the problems against you. Okay. So sometimes this is a face-to-face conversation. Sometimes this is not a face-to-face conversation. But what you need to realize is by you taking the time today to have the conversations about what you would do if somebody was upset, if they were elderly, or if they felt like they got taken advantage of, how would you go back and have this conversation? I will tell you that 50% of the time, dealing with elderly people and money in a lot of industries means an extra discount. It doesn't mean you have to. It just means that, like, this is what it's going to take to make the problem go away. So you put the number on a line, and what's it going to take to get attorneys involved, and a minimum attorney fee is going to be $2,500. And this is what companies do. This is what management teams do. They get there and they're like, either they go, hey, we're holding the line, they sign the contract, or we'll let some money go. I can't tell you what to do. You're going to want to meet with your boss, your manager, whoever you have to role play with, and have that conversation and say, like, here's the opportunities and here's the directions that we could go. You got 1 of 3 things that you can do from here. Just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.